Good morning, and thank you for being with us this morning. Thank you for your forbearance in this lengthy interview process, but it is important. I think you would agree with that.
Absolutely.
I too drive a hybrid. I've had it for 10 years' time. Back when I bought my hybrid, the price of gasoline was actually a lot less, so I can't really say I bought it because I'm cheap, which I am, but I really bought it because then I could have that sense of moral superiority that a hybrid affords you, and I still enjoy that today. Listen, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that have come up during this hearing. First off, what is the mission of the EPA?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What is the mission of the EPA? What is your core function?
Well, our mission obviously is to protect public health and the environment.
Stop there. That's good. That's a sound bite. I'll accept that.
If you go to the next level, it's essentially to implement the laws that Congress has enacted for EPA to be the
and I'll accept that as a secondary. Now, we've heard a lot of discussion here this morning about the sequester and the effects of the sequester, how it should be undone. But I would just simply ask you: you're the boss of the EPA, right? You're the head honcho of the EPA.
The current acting head honcho. Yes.
Right, head honcho. We keep it simple here for this committee. And your boss is
President Obama.
Correct. And President Obama, in August of 2011, signed a very famous law now called the Budget Control Act. Did he not?
I'm certain he did.
And incorporated in that Budget Control Act was a condition known as the sequester. Is that correct?
Yes.
This is something that was asked for by the administration, asked for by Jack Lew at the time was Chief of Staff or Head of Office Management of the Budget. They asked the Congress to pass this law. The Congress accommodated. Now, to his credit, the President has not had to come back to the Congress with another debt limit discussion since August of 2011. So you could certainly argue he achieved his goal of wanting to get past Election Day and then some, so that worked. Now, why is it that you, as his agent at the Environmental Protection Agency, cannot perform your core mission under the guidance of your president, who said there will be a reduction in funding for the EPA under the sequester? Why is it you're having trouble doing that?
Well, I'm reporting to this committee the impacts of doing that.
Well, let me just ask you this. Why is it that it's only in federal agencies, and we certainly saw this, that's not your area, but the Department of Transportation with the FAA flap a few weeks ago, when you got to do budget cuts, they immediately have to hurt people. I was in private business for a number of years. There were plenty of times where I fell on lean times, and I had to look at my budget, and I had to squeeze 7 cents out of every dollar that I spent. Otherwise, I wasn't going to be able to provide my core mission. And we did it, but I didn't lay off my scheduler. I did it in a way that allowed the business to continue to function and continue to take care of those patients who came into my medical practice. Why is it when in the private sector, when times get tough and you've got to make budget cuts, we try to do those in a way that minimizes the impact on our clients, patients, or customers, and yet in federal agencies, let's extract the maximum amount of pain? Why is that?
Well, I can't ascribe to that particular point of view.
But, sir,
but I'm giving you the information as best I can of what those across the board kinds of reductions have done in our agency. The flexibility that you just suggested that you have in private industry is not afforded to me as the head of the agency, because I have to make the cuts in every program.
And yet
within
you do
that,
have
I've
some
done the best I can.
discretionary authority, I would submit. And look, you've got some stuff listed here of things that, and I realize it wasn't your helm at the time, but in 2014, Lisa Jackson goes to the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, referred to as Rio Plus 20, Agenda 21, whatever you want to call it. How much did we spend to do that?
What was the...
How much did we spend to send Lisa Jackson to Rio Plus 20?
I don't know the answer to that.
Can you find that out and get that information back to me?
Certainly.
It seems to me that would be a far better place to cut, rather than when Henry Waxman goes through, you're cutting radiation safety and air quality. This would be a better place to cut. And if I were to advise you on how to look at your budget and make it work and comply with your core mission, these are the types of activities I would ask you to look at. I cannot believe your boss The president did not do that. And I think that's a failing on the part of the administration because they did ask for the sequester. Remember, that was the baseline.
I can attest to the fact that he signed the bill, but I was not involved with any of the negotiations on it.
And I appreciate that you weren't.
And,
but you're now to do the job, correct?
Yes, I am. And I just want you to know that I did cut the agency's travel budget in half.
Good for you. Eliminate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll yield back.
This time I recognize